Here's your Spurs news roundup for Saturday the 9th of August 2025. Welcome back to the channel. Harry Scarfe. If you're new, please do like and subscribe. This video will be all about the stories regarding Tottenham in the last 24 hours, including transfer news and also full analysis of them as I dissect them. So let's stay tuned to the end. Let's go through your headlines first. Second part of the video, we'll be discussing them and analysing them in great depth. Firstly, on a loan watch point of view, Tottenham loanees George Abbott and Will Lancashire started for Wycombe and Oxford respectively today. Jamie Donnelly and Ashley Phillips were both on the bench for Stoke. Yamin Hook and Damilare Jai are also on the bench for Portsmouth and Doncaster respectively. Tottenham loanee Tyrese Hall came on as a substitute for Notts County today versus Southwood and played the final 7 minutes. Accurate passes was 100%, 5 out of 5. 6 touches he had. He won 1 out of 1 tackles, 100%, and won 1 out of 1 ground duels once, 100% as well. According to several reports, Mikey Moore has not been given the clearance to play for Rangers and he could have to wait until he turns 18, which is only on Monday. It might be an explanation to why he hasn't featured for them yet, and he'll not reportedly also feature for the Scottish Giants today either. Next, Tottenham head coach Ryan Mason made his managerial debut for West Brom today against Blackburn at 3 p.m. His side won 1-0, so a good start for former Spurs player Ryan Mason in charge. 3 points out of 3 so far, so yeah, all points claimed, 1 win out of 1. Josh Keeley got his second appearance. Obviously Tottenham sold him permanently to Luton Town and he got his second clean sheet. Fanatics report that Tottenham legend Heung-min Son is already the second all-time highest MLS jersey sold, behind only Lionel Messi. Corriere dello Sport report that Bologna have now reached an agreement in principle with Tottenham for Bryan Gill after Fabio Paratici facilitated this deal. The move is an initial loan with the option to buy, but it could become an obligation should certain conditions be met. On this day in 2019, it's 3 goals and 3 points for Tottenham on the opening day of the Premier League season against Aston Villa, 3-1 victory. Give Me Sport report that Bilal El Khannouss could leave Leicester City before the summer window closes, with Tottenham Hotspur very keen on a deal. The Moroccan international has a £22.5 million, that's 26 million euros, relegation release clause, although some interested clubs are speaking to Leicester City about a slightly higher package in order to gain more preferable payment terms. Leicester are prepared to sell for around 25 million unless someone triggers the clause. George Abbott versus Stockport today played 68 minutes and 15 out of 21 passes completed were successful. 4 out of 6 ground duels won, 2 key passes, 2 tackles, was fouled twice and 1 interception. Will Lancashire versus Portsmouth, 81 minutes played, 13 out of 16 successful passes. Ground duels 1, 3 out of 7, a bit lower. Aerial duels 1, 3 out of 3, 100%. Key passes 2, was fouled twice, dribbles completed 1 out of 1, 100%, and shots 1. Jamie Donnelly versus Derby got 1 assist, played 26 minutes, 5 out of 6 passes completed were successful, 3 out of 4 ground duels 1 successful, 3 tackles, 1 key pass and 1 big chance created, which was his assist. Yamin Hook made his Portsmouth debut in a 1-0 away win at Oxford. He came off the bench in the 67th minute. He had 14 touches in the game, 2 touches in the opposition box and had 1 shot. Will Lancashire made his debut for Oxford United, starting the game against Portsmouth. He was subbed off in the 81st minute. He had 25 touches in the game, 1 touch in the opposition box and had 1 shot too, which was blocked, and an 81% passing accuracy. Alfie Devine made his debut for Preston North End on Saturday. His side drew 1-1 away at QPR in the Championship. He came off the bench in the 75th minute and had 12 touches in the game, 2 touches in the opposition box and had 1 shot, which was blocked, and 86% passing accuracy. Fabrizio Romano commented on Tottenham's interest in Nicolas Jackson, Chelsea striker. Fabrizio Romano, the Italian journalist, said there is strong interest from Newcastle. They consider Jackson as one of the options, not the only one, be attentive, but one of the options they have for the striker position. Then there's also interest from Tottenham. If Richarlison leaves, Jackson is the target for Tottenham. But if Richarlison leaves, then it's also important to say that other clubs called from Italy, from Germany, Bayern, but at the moment Premier League looks like the most likely destination for Nicolas Jackson. Hugo Lloris spoke about Heung-min Son joining him at LAFC. Hugo said it's amazing to be together again. It's a new chapter with a different jersey, with the same ambition, the same motivation. He's a big competitor. He was the captain of Spurs for the last 2 years. He's the captain of his national team. He spent 10 years at Spurs. He did everything that he could. He won the Europa League last season. He achieved so much in the Premier League in terms of stats, in terms of image. He's well respected all around the world. I understand that you arrive at one stage in your career, you need a new target, a new objective. Seeing him come to the MLS, it's great, for the league, great for the city, great for the club, also great for our team because he's a kind of example. There's plenty of things to learn from him, so I expect to have a really big impact. Thomas Frank spoke about João Palhinha playing against Bayern Munich. Frank said he got 45 good minutes into him, so I think it was really important and positive in many ways. I'm sure he will help the team. The positives also was we had no injuries. Thomas Frank on James Maddison's injury. Thomas Frank said, I think it's disappointing but also devastating for me and mainly for Madders that he's out of the team. We will miss him and no doubt he'll be missing football and his time on the sidelines. So that is your daily Tottenham headlines today. Let's go through and dissect the main ones. What should we start with? Let's start with Ryan Mason. Great start to his managerial career, 1-0 win. I wish him all the best. Certainly be watching out for West Brom this year. I think he could be a really good manager, So hopefully he does well with West Brom. I think the aim will be to get into the playoffs. So, a big year ahead for him and his side, the Baggies. Sounds like Olaloni's done really well, which is fantastic. A great start for a lot of them. Just going through him here, Tyrese Hall, that's a really, really bright start. There's a lot of optimism about him. Mikey Moore, it makes sense why he hasn't featured yet if he's waiting for that clearance, but he turns 18 only on Monday. So it's not, that far away from him. He's only got to wait a couple more days. What else we got? Josh Keeley, still think it's a mistake to sign him personally. 2 clean sheets out of 2. Having said that, Luton's opposition was not exactly strong. Just shows about the icon of Heung-min Son to be able to be the second all-time highest MLS jersey sold behind just Lionel Messi. There is context to that. I think MLS only started selling jerseys and memorabilia in about 2018, 2019. I could be wrong, but I believe that's the case. So context is very important. But even so, Heung-min Son's a massive icon of the game. Big Korean population as well, isn't there, in the MLS? And, kind of where the club is, LAFC, big Korean population. And I think he'd bring a lot of fans and a lot of exposure to the MLS. So it's really positive, as Laurie said, which we'll get onto later about that. Corriere dello Sports reports interest in said Fabio Paratici has been working really hard about Gil. I thought he had a year left on his contract. Johan Langer, I'd say, is useless. Aston Villa's recruitment has been so much better since Johan Langer's left the club. I'm totally honest with you, a lot more ambitious. Maybe not necessarily this window, but in the last window, we don't know how much involved he was or whether it's a positive that he's now there or not. But it looks like it's good that we've got him off the books, initial loan option to buy. We just need to make sure that we can get it as an obligation. That's to make sure they're easy terms to reach. Season started earlier in 2019, big win over Aston Villa. That was under Maurizio Pochettino with new signing and Ndombele. What a flop he was in the end, getting that goal. El Khannouss is an interesting one. Surely he leaves Leicester. Why aren't they triggering that £22.5 million relegation release clause? Some clubs won't trigger it because they want favourable payment conditions, etc., etc. I'm surprised that it hasn't gone already. If I'm totally honest with you, for that price, I think he's a good player. There's better out there, if I'm totally honest with you. El Khannouss is limited to one position. You get Eze or Jack Grealish, can play more than one position. I wouldn't be closed-minded to his signing, but that's what I've been saying in these videos and in shorts and any things I've done podcasts too for the channel here, my own channel. I just think that someone like El Khannouss, that's an example of it gets the second one of him. It's two average player, an average left, an okay or decent left winger, and it'd probably be the same for the 10. An okay or decent 10. I'd rather just put them two players together in terms of money and focus on one player, splash the cash, 70, 80 million, whatever it be for Eze. I'd much rather do that. One is better than two if that one is of high quality and a statement sign. I'd rather do that. El Khannouss doesn't really excite me. I'm not saying it would be a bad signing. I think he's a good player, but they're just better out there. That's what I want to be clear about. Nicolas Jackson, mainly for his Mono speaks about his interest in Newcastle. There's an if, and a possibility from Tottenham, but it's only if Richarlison leaves. If I'm totally honest with you, it doesn't appeal to me. Selling Richarlison absolute tops at 25, 30 million tops, and signing Jackson for 70, 80 million as well, max. Doesn't excite me. I'd rather keep Richarlison. I think Jackson's probably the better player, but for that money, I just don't think it's worth it. Heung-min Son's some nice words about Son. Good to see them reunited in the MLS since they do very well as well at the same club together. It's very nice. Two former Spurs captains. Thomas Frank saying that for Pellegrini got on well, he's really happy. He got 45 minutes and thinks as well that he got no injuries, he's happy with that, but he's devastated about James Maddison's injury. You can tell, and he's trying to be careful the way he goes about it, but he's absolutely devastated that James Maddison's injured. He's got, of course, it's frustrating for James too, but you can tell that he's saying basically it's frustrating for me as well, and it is, because we look at that Bayern game, we lack creativity, and that led to the sideways passes, and it led to players like Jed Spence leaving in trouble because there's no creativity and no pass options ahead of him. It's incredibly frustrating. But at the weekend, there's never a lot of Tottenham headlines, but as your Spurs news roundup for the 9th of August 2025. Thank you very much for watching. Get involved in the comments below with any news that you heard in today's video, any of my opinions. Get involved. I'll get in touch with you and reply to you ASAP. That's an absolute promise for you here and then from me. Thank you very much for watching though. Like and subscribe to the channel, and a massive come you Spurs. Let's hope for the next hours, next few days for some good transfer activity. Hope we can get a 10 and a left winger in the door at the Spurs. Without you,